Matthew. Matthew.
Sorry.
Matthew, you have to understand, this is a very cowardly crime and one that involved violence. Your associate Kelvin Johnson will be sent to the Crown Court and he will almost certainly be sentenced to imprisonment in a young offenders institution. He is 17, but you, of course, are much younger. But even so, you are above the age of criminal responsibility. If you went before the court, I suspect you might well be given a Section 91. This means you would be locked up for 3 years in either a secure training center or a local authority secure children's home. You are an intelligent boy. These are the results of the test that you have been given in the past week. Although your school results have never done you any credit, you seem to have a good grasp of the basic skills of math and literacy. Your psychology report suggests that you have a positive and creative mind. It seems very strange that you chose to drift into truancy and petty crime. But then, of course, we did take into account your background. You lost your parents suddenly at an early age, which we think caused you enormous subconscious distress. I think it's fairly clear to all of us that problems in your young life may have resulted from this one tragic event. Even so, Matthew, you must find the strength to overcome these problems. If you continue down this path that you're following, there is a very good chance that you may end up in prison. However, there is a new government program that has been designed specifically for young people like you. The truth is, Matthew, nobody wants to see young people sent into care. It's expensive and we don't have enough room as it is. That is why the government recently created the LEAF project. You can think of it as turning over a new leaf.
I've already been fostered once, and it wasn't exactly a success.
That's certainly true. And I'm afraid Miss Davis no longer feels able to look after you anymore.
Oh, really?
The LEAF project is your last hope, Matthew. It's your last chance to redeem yourself.
So what is LEAF?
LEAF is a fostering program. We have a number of volunteers living in various parts of the country. The place where you'd be going is called Lesser Malling. It's away from the city life. Less temptations. Your foster guardians may ask some things of you, like manual labor.
You mean I have to work?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's good for your health. Matthew, nobody can force you to join LEAF. You have to volunteer. However, I do have to say that it would be an opportunity for you. Also, I'm sure you will find it better than the alternatives.
How long will I have to stay?
A minimum of 1 year. After that, we will look over your progress before we make any further decisions.
You may like it, Matt. A chance to start over, make new friends.
What happens if I don't like it?
You have absolutely nothing to be complaining about, young man. You should be grateful just to be given the opportunity to take this chance. But if you find yourself in trouble or a similar situation to the one you are in now, you will not be given a second chance. Do you understand?
Fine, send me anywhere, as long as I don't have to stay with Gwenda and Brian.
We won't abandon you, Matt. We'll make sure that you're looked after.
Yeah, I understand. When do I get to meet my new foster parent?
Her name is Jane Deverell.
Are you hungry, Matthew?
No, thanks.
When we get home, I'll expect you to eat what you're given. There won't be any wasting food in my house. I expect you're wondering about me. I'm now your legal guardian. You are a thief and a delinquent, and the government has given you to me. But I'm willing to forget your past, Matthew. I can assure you it's your future that is much more concerned to me. If you do as you're told, we'll get along just fine. If you disobey me, if you try to defy me, I can assure you you'll be much more miserable than you can imagine. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have to remember this, Matthew. Nobody cares about you. You have no parents, no family, and no friends. You have very little education and no prospects. I don't want to be cruel to you, my dear, but I'm really the only one that you have left. Matthew, we're here. This is it. Of course, you might have guessed, we have no PlayStation and no television. But once you start working, you will find you will be too tired for these things. We go to bed early in the country. You will get used to our ways in time. My ancestor. There have been many Deverills, this part of Yorkshire, for 300 years. Her name was Jane, like mine. She was burned to death. The people in the town say when the wind blows in the right direction, you can still hear her screams. Let me show you upstairs, where you'll be staying.
Who's that?
This is Asmodeus, my cat.
Ow!
What's wrong with him?
He has pneumonia, may die.
What? No, that's not an option, Miss Deverill. You are responsible for him and you must see that he lives.
Matthew, open your mouth. Drink this.
No.
So you're woken up at last?
What happened?
You've been ill, nothing too serious, just pneumonia, but it's all behind you now.
You gave me something to drink.
What are you talking about? You must have been a bit more sick than I thought. You must have been having bad dreams. I imagine that would come from watching too much TV, which is why I do not have one.
I'm hungry.
Well, you haven't eaten for 3 days. I would imagine so.
3 days?
Well, that's how long you've been unconscious. I'm going to get you some tea. You can rest today. But tomorrow, I want you up on your feet. It's time your work began. There's something I want you to do for me, Matthew.
I've already cleaned the pigs.
I know what you're doing. One day you're going to learn that being rude to people who are older and wiser than you will not do you any good. In fact, I have a task which you might enjoy. I'd like for you to pick something up for me in Lesser Malling.
What is it that you want me to pick up?
It's a package addressed to me. You can go get it after lunch. You can use an old bicycle in the barn. It belonged to my husband.
You were married?
For a short time.
What happened to your husband?
Young people shouldn't ask so many questions, but since you'll be traveling, my husband went for a walk into the woods and just simply never came back. My guess is he got lost. You know, the woods are very thick out here, and he probably stumbled into a bog and only to try to get out and sink deeper and deeper. But let that be a lesson to you. These woods are very dangerous. You do not need to go near the woods.
I'll be sure to do that.
Remember now, the chemist. Just tell him you're picking up something for me.